Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's doing all right. Even better than all right. I hope everybody's doing really well. Um, Let me plug in the computer because that's probably not required, but I should do it anyway. So I hope everybody's doing well. We had a visitor today, a couple of visitors. Um, One visitor I'll show you in a little bit, but my other visitor was planned. I got my hayfield mowed and also part of the pasture mowed as well. So one of my friends I paid to do that, and so that's done. That's a little bit of fire, and so these are good things. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well, and let's get into it. See who's here. All right, Erica's here. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Erica. Erica, Verna, and PJ, we're all here, members. We were at the Cook With Me Live, which happened this past Sunday, and we made English muffins, and I have to say, they're pretty dang good. They are pretty dang good. So if you'd like to join us, we do this Cook With Me Live every month. It's a membership, and so you click the join button down below, or there's a link in every description on how to join. And it's a lot of fun. We end up talking for a very long time and making something and being productive at the same time. So it's a good thing. Even if you do not know how to cook, we will assist you in this. Odd substitutions, we can deal with it. So yeah, that's what we did in English muffins, and we also made them into, not all of them, but some of them into breakfast sandwiches. So that it was very cool and very yummy. And I've had breakfast sandwiches for breakfast today, which is awesome. Next month, on the 14th of June, we are having our next Cook With Me Live, and we will be making an assortment of pasta salads. So last year we did potato salad, and this year we're doing pasta salad. And there's because there's so many different ways, we're gonna experiment with some and see what we like. So yeah, that's that. So welcome, Erica. Welcome, Verna. Verna's Vase Place and moderator, and she is in Blue Wrench. She also has a channel and has a live chat on Saturday mornings, which I'm usually sleeping for. We're 3 hours different. Oh boy. All right, Verna's going to be in and out. Got it. And PJ's here. Welcome, PJ. PJ was also there, and we had a lot of fun. So hope you're doing good. And yeah. Oh, it's storming at Verna's place. Hot at PJ's place. She says, just hot here. I'm not complaining though, just enjoying it. It's okay. That's okay. It's pleasant here. It was really windy yesterday. A little bit windy today, but it's pleasant here. So it was a really good day for my friend to mow the pasture. And it was a good thing. Or mow mostly the hayfield. I'm not haying it, honestly. It's probably mostly going to lay there, and the elk will have fun with it later, you know? Um, anyway, so yeah, that's probably what's going to happen with that. I just needed it to be cut down for fire break, and it's working. Well, I haven't tested it. I'm not going to, but I'm hoping it's working. Verna says, last 2 days, oh my gosh, gotten to 87 degrees, and she's loving it. Oh my gosh, 96 in Albany, where PJ works. Oh my gosh. That is too hot for not even summer. We're still in spring, right? Doesn't summer start June 20th? I think it's June 20th. Man. Yeah, and Erica says it's even hotter than here. Exactly. Okay, PJ opened the windows in the office. Coworker complained and said, I will freeze in the AC. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. The thing about using air conditioning is it double blasts you when you go into the heat, right? So you have to have that kind of moderate use of it, or only use it on the super hot days. Yeah. And I actually have air conditioning now. I didn't have air conditioning at my old house, and growing up we never used the air conditioning, and we may have used it twice. Um, and so now I have air conditioning that presumably when it's needed, I will have enough sun to keep it running. But I mostly plan to do things, by windows, unless it gets smoky. All right. So, probably won't happen, but keep an eye over this shoulder. I'll show you guys in a little bit what came over there. It's not there right now. I'm just saying, if you see something coming there, that's why I'm here. That's why I chose this seat in the house today. Another hot day at Vernus tomorrow, then 3 days in the 50s. Yeah, we had, this weekend got down, and I think at 40 is the lowest I saw it, but I still put the plants underneath the carport so that they didn't have issues. But yeah. Desiree is here. Hi, Desiree. Desiree, we missed you at the Cook With Me Live yesterday. Hopefully you make the next one. All right. Welcome. Yes, I got it mowed. It took him 5 hours, a little more than 5 hours. With the I should ask him what it's called. I think it's more of a brush mower. It's like, it's a pull behind the tractor, and it's totally covered, down the sides. But yeah, good. Uh-oh. Anime, hopefully things are looking better. You're moving now. Okay. Well, hopefully it ends up being a good move. That's what I can hope for. Oh, okay. So Verna is talking about the Cook With Me Live on the 14th of next month, June. And she says, I have to decide if I will use bow ties or shells, not going to use the elbow macaroni. So why not both? Try some different things. Try half a bag of one, half a bag of the other, or whatever. Yeah. PJ says, I'll use protein pasta. Is that with chickpeas? I made a bunch of chickpeas and then blended them up in the blender, and then put them on the freeze drying tray and freeze dried them, and then powdered them. So I have that. It's basically chickpea flour now. It's already been cooked, so it will reconstitute very quickly. But so I can make hummus really, really fast, and it reconstitutes really well. And you add whatever you want to make it hummus. But I have wanted to do pasta out of it, and I haven't done it yet. So maybe between now and then I'll practice and see what I get. I think all of my pasta maker thingies are lines of things. I don't think I have any of the macaroni or anything like that. I'll have to check, but I don't think I do. I know they make them. Yeah. Oh, Erica has to go. All right. See you later. All right. Whole wheat pasta is great. That's from Verna. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Verna says, astrologically, we are in spring. Climate change, there are no seasons. Yeah. There is always a joke in Oregon that there are 3 seasons. There is summer, winter, and road construction. So, yeah. Yep. I think that applies to a lot of places. Yeah, it gets hotter now. This is from Verna. It gets hotter now. than it was way back then. Exactly, yeah, and the data that is from the like, climate data is just amazing, like, how many more than 100-degree days we have versus even just 20 years ago. It's really interesting. Yeah. Oh, Erica doesn't have to go. Someone's just turning around in your driveway. Oh, well, hopefully you weren't expecting them. Oh, yeah, Desiree says gonna rain all week and next week for me. Our room's gonna flood. So yeah, you guys are in the basement, huh? Um, trauma again. Yeah, that's if you know that's coming, get things up, and maybe it's a good thing that you're moving since whenever it rains it floods. That house needs some work. It sounds like. And I know we talked about that before, but you can, well, maybe not you guys, but the owner can, they can hire someone, but you can dig down along the wall, and it can get some Rhino Guard on it, which is like a black tar like substance. I don't remember what it's actually made out of. Might be tar, and that will waterproof it. But then just getting the slope right and making sure that there's gutters and the gutters take the water away from the house. Pretty simple stuff as far as that goes. Painting on the waterproofing is a little more complicated because you got to dig, but all doable and should be done. Yeah. So yeah, gets aggravating when you're expecting company. See, I have the other thing. Since my house is so close to the road, like when I moved in, everybody knew. Oh, what's Katrina doing now? Oh, what's she doing now? What's she doing now? And so I had, that's how I met my neighbors, is they just showed up, introduced themselves to me. So yeah. Okay. Oh, Desiree, I'm not reading that out loud, but yeah, that sounds like there's issues that you need to get resolved. Yeah, or move. Verna says that pasta shooter for the KitchenAid is expensive. Um, yeah, I have some of them. They were gifts, so it was like I might have bought one of them. I don't remember if I bought one of them or not, but I know my parents got me some for Christmas one year. But I don't think I do. I don't think I have the like the macaroni one. Yeah, the way to do like so pasta salad, you like to have it holds stuff. It's not just a string. It has shape. It holds stuff, and yeah, I think they make a macaroni one. Yeah, Desiree, it sounds like moving is your best bet. Sorry you're going through that. Yeah. Yeah, so Verna says I have those one you have, it only does noodle style. Let's look up KitchenAid is awesome because they have tons of attachments and attachments that other people make for them, like for that fit theirs. KitchenAid macaroni maker. Let's attachment. Let's see. Let's see what that is. Okay. So there's ones that are made not by KitchenAid as well. Um yeah, there's ones that are made by KitchenAid and there's ones that are made not by KitchenAid. So yeah, the one by KitchenAid, they have multiple ones, and it's bucatini, rigatoni, spaghetti, fusilli, large and small macaroni, and that's $250. Yeah, that's a lot. And they have, I mean, there's off brands that fit these things. And if it says it's made for that, it's worth a try. So here's an off brand one from Bed Bath & Beyond, GVODE. I don't know how to say that, but it's 7-in-1 pasta maker. And it has a bunch. But that one, it looks like you put in a ball of dough or something. Interesting. I don't know. I guess the other one looks like it might do that too. I'm so used to making the sheets. Anyway, yeah, they're expensive, but you can also get the off-brand stuff to support whatever your KitchenAid needs are. But that's quite a bit of money to spend for that. So I think I'll buy some. Or maybe, I'll keep my pasta making to the ones that I already have. Yeah. Erica said we had the donkey from down the road come for a visit this afternoon. Had to walk him home. Well, I mean, that's not all bad, right? As long as you could get him and walk him home. Yeah. I had a different visitor. We'll see if it comes back. I hope it doesn't. But I will show you at some point here soon. Yeah. Desiree, it sounds like these are personal stuff, so I'm not reading it out loud, but it sounds like you guys need to get out of that situation. Yeah. Oh, and she says, other than that, my chickens have been eating so many mulberries, one of their eggs are purple now. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, while we're talking, let me work on downloading this thing from my phone. Here we go. So, yeah. So getting that mowing done, I mean, hey, I got it done. He got some money and it worked great for both of us. So, that's something that there is a need for. I think it might be 5 acres, the bottom part. I'm not sure. But that is a need that people have, and I know people need that in our community. Is a small, now people specifically want like to bale, if you want to bale hay, that's going to be what people will want. I mean, yes, mowing, but baling hay is what people would want to. And that will be really good for someone to concentrate on small properties, because the smaller properties don't have they don't have the same attraction for the people who do it for work. Like they cut the hay, they rake the hay, they bale the hay. It's not as attractive for the types of people that do that, just because it's a lot of work to get in and get set up and get going and get out and all that. So I know that's a need in our community. That's an idea for if someone has that capability. It's an idea, I'm just putting this in a folder so I can select that folder and extract, and then I'll show you guys what we're looking at. Yeah, so doing all of the hay stuff, there's a lot of people that just rent that out, like, or they they will pay someone to do it because they don't need the equipment themselves. But if you have the equipment and you can line up, these different jobs that, you can cut something much bigger than the little thing that my friend was, towing behind his little tractor. Um, and you can have all the raking stuff that does that and have the baling stuff, then that will be a really good business, I think. I don't know how well it would do. I don't know if the smaller people, this like my field is pretty small. I don't know like if people who have the small fields would be willing to pay just a little bit more, or if you have bigger clients and smaller clients and you can kind of equalize that out. Um, that kind of thing is pretty interesting. Um, it's an interesting way to do that. So let me make sure I pause. And you guys ready to see? Where'd you go? Thank you for your blessings. Let me catch up, and then because I wasn't watching you guys, let me catch up, and then I'll show you who our visitor was. Um, Okay, Verna says, I see one attachment for KitchenAid that costs about $50 sale price. Hey, that's good. If it's only one thing, too, that will be good because a lot of the KitchenAid attachments that are for pasta related come in multiple kits. If you want them, then take them. But if not, then you only need one thing. You only get one thing. I should check and see what I have. I'm not all the way unpacked, but I think I unpacked that. I know I unpacked a couple that I know about. Okay. Desiree says, I did lose a failure to thrive quail chick today. Sadly, it was my favorite one too. That's how it goes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bella's here. Hey, or hey there, folks. I love your pun. I love your pun. I hope you and your bunnies are doing great. Yes. And I think Verna is right. She's responding to Desiree and saying, I think or all of your quail chicks are your favorite. Yeah. Yep. I think so. Dark gray chick with spots. Yeah, you can rake it and tie it into bundles, but the thing is, with what I have out there right now, I haven't been down in the hayfield, but I have a feeling it's pretty munched up because it's a mower, it's not a cutter for hay. It's a mower. So I have to go down there and see, but we'll see. Um, I'm not likely to rake the whole thing. So when I talk about raking hay, I actually did this for summer. We're not talking about raking like with a rake. We're not doing that. It's a if you've seen the tractors with the circles behind them, circles with the long kind of spikes all the way around. That's rake. So that's the rake that they're talking about. And what they do is they spin, and they take stuff from the outside and they move everything into a row. So they take a wide area and focus it into a row about, I don't know, a couple feet wide. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about raking. You could potentially rake it and stack it or whatever. Um, right now I'm not going to concentrate on that. You do have to wait until moisture's right, and I don't know about that. Anybody here? Hey, I know the moisture has to be right because if you collect it together too early, it can spontaneously combust, which I do not want to have happen. All right. Desiree says, so far I've got 2 roos, 1 hen that I can feather sex. Awesome. Hold your horses, Verna. Avella says, how many small square bales of hay can be made per acre? Totally depends on the year and if you are haying multiple times a year or once a year, which often depends on whether or not you're irrigating and where you are and what your hay is. So a lot of what ifs. Um, I think I don't know the size of the bale of hay. I did ask the question of the previous owner because he had it hayed, who's by someone who no longer does that for people. Um, he said at the least he got 40 bales, but that was in drought. And then the most was a lot more than that. So it makes enough, well over what I would need. So yeah, but right now I'm just going with it right now. Good question though. It's kind of like, I always want to know how many acres for a t-shirt, how many acres for a loaf of bread, or how many loaves of bread per acre, or how many t-shirts per acre. Yeah, these are interesting questions to ponder. Where it says, I'll get something like that when I get quail again. There you go. There you go. They do make smaller versions for haying and baling and all of that. And that is in my plan. I have the Jeep. I want to, tow that behind that and be able to do that with the Jeep. But I was not ready this year. So, yeah. And it costs money. Desiree says, I got one dilute Italian tux. That's a hen. She screams a lot like B used to. B was your favorite. Or is. Is B still around? I don't remember. All right. Verna says, for a 40 to 50 pound small square bale, you can generally expect 80 to 150 bales per acre for a good yielding season with heavy fertilization. See, I'm not doing, you got to do animal stuff. 40 to 70 bales. Yeah, so that's all going to depend on what kind of grass you have. Has it been a wet year, a dry year? When did the wet come? When did the dry come? Have things been grazing on it? Is it fertilized in some way? Either naturalized or spray or whatever. That it depends on a lot of things. So just like any crop, hay can be, there's good years and not so good years for hay. So, all right. Never heard of a mower being called munched. Did I say munched? I don't think that's what I said, but I don't know what I said. I definitely didn't say munched. Anyway, so yeah, that's mulch, maybe? I don't know what I said. Abella says, my bunnies are doing well and making a giant mess whenever I give them hay. But at least I can repurpose wasted hay as garden mulch. Exactly. Yeah, the giant. So I have not given my rabbits as much hay as I would like to. Once I get situated out there and making sure I don't bring bad seeds out of that area, because I do need to get rid of some plants down there. I don't want to spread it by bringing them hay up here and then spread plants up here. So that's part of the issue. But when they'll be easier to find now that the grass is really low. But with that, it's I used to have, in my old hutches, there was a hay feeder, and it was just something wire that the previous person made. I got my rabbits with their hutches and all that from a lady who had just graduated from high school and was going to do her, go off and do her life. And so she had 4-H bunnies. So that was my starting was those guys. And Mama Meatball, my best mama ever, she had a baby that jumped into the hay feeder, got its leg stuck or its foot stuck, and was dangling for who knows how long before I came along. I know that Meatball stood underneath it as long as she could and tried to help because she had tons of poop on her back and the baby had poop down its back. And I actually rehabilitated that rabbit. I had a sprained ankle at the time. So I was already using Epsom salts, but I used Epsom salts and massage and, kind of massage, like therapy, like bending and bend and flex and, all of that. And after several weeks, you couldn't even tell which one it was, but it took work. So that's why I don't have those anymore. And so the hay would have to be on the bottom or have another situation. I did buy some hay feeders that are external and they're just so tiny and so, I don't know. I haven't used them. But I'm nervous about using any sort of hay feeder that's internal because of that. And you guys can watch that. It's called, the title of that video is Hurt Baby Bunny. And so you can see what the process was that I used. There's been a couple times where I've used Epsom salts for my animals. I filmed 2 of them. So Hurt Baby Bunny was one of them. And I think Epsom salt for Mr. Quail or bath for Mr. Quail, or if you type in Mr. Quail, it should show up. That one, I had just decided on my 3 males that I was going to keep for the aviary. 3. And so I processed the rest of them. There are no more males. What happens? The next morning I go out and I have a male with a leg stuck out to the side. Why is your leg stuck out to your side? What's going on with that? And he had soft tissue damage somehow. Don't know how, but through the magic of Epsom salt baths and a little massagey therapy, he fully recovered and fathered many babies. So yeah. But yeah, wasted hay is fine. If you have chickens to get under them, or I mean, quail will kind of peck at hay, but the chickens will actually eat it. But yeah, if you have chickens under them, they'll kind of go through it. Yeah, but it does add back some of the nitrogen that is lost to pee. Anyway. Oh, Verna has more information on bales. She says large round bales for 1,000 to 5,000 pound large round bales. You can generally expect 4 to 8 bales per acre, depending on the specific field conditions and bale weight. Yeah, so it's an interesting. I don't know enough about hay. I know people that do. I don't know enough about hay to give a educated answer. I do know that I remember that in the droughtiest of drought years, in the 17 years that people lived here before me, the least they got was 40 bales of hay, and I think it's 5 acres. I think that's what it is. Yeah, but it depends on a lot of things. Combust. Yes. Grass, if you cut grass, especially if it's wet, but if you cut grass and you pile it together too soon before it dries out, it can spontaneously combust. It can turn into flames. And so that's what can happen with some, if you don't have a moisture meter. Some people use their hands, they know what the moisture is. They can do that really well, some old timers, but you really should have a moisture meter because it can spontaneously combust. And there's records of it happening and burning, barns down and all these things. So best not to do that. I don't know if that's why a lot of times you see the hay sitting out for longer. Sometimes you see it sitting out baled, and I don't know why that is, or if maybe the truck just isn't ready to pick things up. When I helped with doing the hay, I think we picked it up as soon as it was baled. That was a long time ago. All right. Meg's Edibles here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Bee got scalped. Oh no, Desiree. No longer with you. I'm sorry. She was a Tibetan carrying dilute Tibetan, not sure. Okay. Okay. Homestead Aquarius is here. Welcome, welcome. Says hello. Hello there. Hello there, Homestead Aquarius. All right. Let's see. People saying hi. Thank you for the link, Verna. She did a link for Hurt Baby Bunny. That shows you how to use Epsom salts on on rabbits, but you can I've used it on quail. I've used it on quail before. I use it on me. It's really, really good for soft tissue damage. And the key component of that is magnesium. And magnesium takes about 20 minutes to go through the skin. So this isn't like a pill that you take. It actually goes through the skin to the muscle directly. And so 20 minutes is the minimum for an Epsom salt soak. A lot of people would use a bucket. You'll see the one with the quail. I used an ice cream container. Perfect. Those oblong ice cream containers, the plastic ones. Perfect for quail. Yeah, perfect for them. But yeah, so I have used them for that. So Homestead Aquarius says, love those little quail. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Misty. Misty's my neighbor. Welcome. I'm about to show the video I sent you. Erica says, okay, we're talking about hay. Cattle quality hay can sit out in the field for a while, so ranchers will come get it whenever they have time. There's a little rush. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to share a video of somebody that came and visited right here today and likely visited Miss Misty as well. So let me get that up here. Oh, how do I share? Not guest this. Here we go. I'm going to play it again. So, yeah, it was I think it was probably last year's young as my guess, but who knows? I am that happened at around 2:30, just before 2:30 today. I was in the other room. My friend was mowing down in the there, but I was in the other room. I got up and walked over here and I saw the bear there. I went and looked on the camera and I had got there like a few seconds after it was there. So it had already tipped over that planter before. There's a bunch of dirt there right now, but I'd righted it the other day and all that. So yeah, yeah, it is very cute. It is very cute. I'm okay with the bears being around as long as they don't cause havoc and on me or or my my animals or my vegetable garden or the forest, as long as they're there. Better there than my hive. Exactly. Exactly. And I definitely have that. I went out with the weed whip again and made sure that that's like well, it's it's doing good. It's shocking. Yeah. Erica says, Horse J. What? I'm going to guess you're talking to text because I don't understand what you said. Horse J has to get under coaster quickly. I have no idea what that means, Erica. I'm sorry. Hosted says, I used to keep a few quail. I miss them. One day I'll have more. Same. I used to have quail, and I actually did a quail course on my website. I did it for Quail University, which was in conjunction with Linda with, oh my gosh, what is the chick? Anyway, with her business and Zach with My Cherry Farm, and then Jasmine, with Time and Timber. And so I was asked to put together for a course for Quail University on raising quail in aviary. And so I did that. And then when they disbanded, they gave the courses back to us. And so it's now on my website. And I'll just nab that. I'll nab that right here because it's easy to get to. And there we go. So here's the quail course. Very reasonably priced, $25. Goal is to get a bunch of people to do it, and it'll pay for my time, hopefully. And yeah, so that I did, and then when I moved, I have a plan. It's going to take a little while to get there, but I will have quail again. I need to have the infrastructure though. So a lot of people start with animals in general, not just quail, without the infrastructure, and they say, "Oh, I have 2 weeks until this hatches. I'll get it built." Huh? Were you anybody in that situation? And of those of you that were in that situation, did you get it finished all the way? The likely answer is you still had some things to do and it was time to put them in somewhere. So, yeah, I'm making myself wait. So, yeah. If someone wants me to hatch them for them, I'll do that. But, yeah, I do miss them. All right. Yes, Verna, you were right. You were right. Bear was very cute. Enemy's asking, does anybody remember the Ocean Spray fruit juice cocktail concentrate in tiny bottles? I do not. I do not. Oh. Verna says horse hay needs to get under cover quickly. Okay. So that's the other thing. The hay in my hayfield does have knapweed in it. Not necessarily a whole lot of it, but it does have it. And that's not good for horses. So, if I were to try and sell hay, because I won't need all of it unless I start having bigger animals. But I need to get rid of that, basically, is the answer. And if that's not the answer, then it's not weed free. And it's you got to be honest with what it is. For cows and for rabbits, hey, it's a high protein plant, but it's not good for horses. Hay undercover. Yeah. Yep. Missy says, I love your shirt. My mom got me this. It's trees. And the irony of my mom getting me this is my mom has told me on many occasions that I have too many t-shirts. But then she says, oh, here's a gift for you. Like, it's a t-shirt. I thought you said I had too many. Not the right ones, apparently. Thank you. Yeah, Homestead Aquarius says, been there, was way under ready. Yep. That's usually the case. Get the brooder for you before you get the eggs. Then you have about 3 to 4 weeks to get your cages up. That, yep. If you get that going before, there you go. Yeah, that's from Vernon. Missy says the Douglas County Wildlife Guy told me to set off my car alarm. Yeah, yeah, for the bear. Yep. I mean, noise worked. Hopefully you guys could hear that. I don't know if you could hear or only see. Let me know if I can see how I'm doing it. But I started with that was what I did, and then I kind of yelled at it, and it's like, what? Because I can't really see what's going on. I think there might be a little bit of reflective. And then when I opened this and up, it made the noise, and I think you could see the movement, and it took off. So the good thing about this bear is it does take off. It's not just sitting there, you know, not moving. So that's a good thing. Homestead says that quail math works fast. It absolutely does. Absolutely. So Verna says, yeah, quail math is 1 + 1 = 100. I see zeros, so zeros don't count. Nature's French fries have to grow fast. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So does the popcorn. Yep. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Misty. Putting your car alarm off, especially if it's by, because it got into your trash cans, right? Is that right? I think that's what someone told me. Hopefully, I'm not disclosing too much. uh, but yeah, um, noise works. I don't know. Whenever I go outside now, I have bear spray. I used to only go outside with bear spray at night. I just take it with me now, just in case. It did look at me, but I don't think it saw me because I think this window may have been reflecting, or it wasn't sure what it was looking at or something. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Got bear out that end, and then a skunk that locked me out of my house yesterday because I didn't bring my key, which I need to. I do now every single time except for that time. I came back from moving the bunnies, and there was a skunk. It was getting kind of dusky, and there was a skunk right by the door that I went out. And it's like, hey, what are you doing? And if you watch the end of the week in review, you'll see. I don't know what it was doing, but it got into and played in a box of canning jars out there that is underneath the table. There's nothing in there. It's just like, I don't know, likes the clank. I have no idea. No idea. But yeah, so anyway, so that was the visitors of the day, the planned visitor and the unplanned visitor at the same time. And yeah, I sure hope, that there's I sure hope people put away everything that they can get into and have it not be able to get into anything, and then say, okay, I'll eat my wild food, because I think that's what needs to happen. Yeah. They are so cat-like that if they fit, they must sit. I don't know about that. Do they? I don't know. That was a planter. It was looking in. I think it's like, oh, there's no more soil in here. It dumped it over the other day. Oh, skunks. I didn't know that they had that behavior. Is that a behavior they have? The funny thing is, this is the first time it's happened, and I know that skunk has been here before, like a lot, and that thing has been underneath that little table basically since I moved in. Like, I just needed some place to shove something, and I put it underneath there. It never came out. Um, Yeah, skunks are fun though. I like them. Why is there a fly? There was a yellow jacket in the house earlier today. I think it is a fly. Which it's still in the house, but it's no longer with us. Yeah. Yes, Verna. Skunks love hanging with cats. And Mr. Ringo has had skunk friends throughout the time here. I have no idea which is his skunk friend and which is new. I'm not sure he knows. He probably does. He's actually outside right now. Mama Kitty's inside still. But yeah. So she has a vet visit on the 1st. I'm taking this opportunity to bond with her. I was actually petting her right before this. I was petting for her for more than half an hour. She's underneath the dresser because I took away another hiding space of hers. I'm sorry, lady. But she wants pets. She wants belly rubs. She was doing biscuits on my arm, which you can tell, but they're light for her. She's not trying to hurt me, but they don't exactly feel good. But Ringo does the same thing. So, yeah. So we're taking time to bond. Ringo was inside for a couple days because I was concerned about the bear. And I think it helps Mama Kitty kind of come out of her shell a little bit. But he's out there. He was outside when the bear was outside, but the bear went that way. So, and Ringo hardly ever, I don't think he ever really goes that way. So, yeah. Oh, nice. Verna says, tried the Muscovy duck tonight. Slow cooker. It almost tastes like quail. So, not beef. Interesting. Interesting. We were talking about that where Muscovy duck is supposed to taste like, steak or beef. Interesting. Yeah. Sorry, guys. My goodness. So I'll give you guys an update on the baby bunnies. So baby bunnies, Ravioli had 2 left, right? And they're little pudgy bellies. They're good. Rigatoni had that one that she pulled an enormous amount of fluff for them. And I saw it one morning and it was pretty cold. And so I warmed up in my hand, put up against my belly and held it there for a long time and started to move more, and that's good. I think I have this in the week in the review, I think. And I did introduce that to rigatoni or to ravioli. I should have done that before. These are rabbit names for anybody new. I should have done that before and I didn't. I should have just given them to her. But at that time I was concerned because Ravioli's babies, some of them had diarrhea. And so it's like, what do you do? And I didn't know the why, but her 2 babies are completely good now. But the one that I did end up putting with her babies, it ended up passing. So I think it got too cold. The rest of the group, Rigatoni, she jumped in and onto them. So they were, she had quite a bit of babies and she ended up with none. So she had one survivor of the jumping on them by accident, I'm pretty sure. And then that one didn't make it. So, yeah. Yeah. Verna says it didn't make her gag. Reminded her of quail. Good. Homestead Aquarius, those names. Yeah, so I have the ones that I started with, the rabbits that I started with. This fly, my goodness. The rabbits that I started with, the dad, it was Parmesan, and he went to a retirement home. One of my friends took him when he aged out, and he actually passed. Tortellini. So Parmesan was a Californian. Tortellini was a Black New Zealand. And then 2 of their daughters were my other breeders. You can line breed I don't really anymore. I will keep back females and get a male from someone else. It works for me that way because I don't have that many. But if you have that, if you have the line breeding, is considered acceptable in rabbits. So Meatball, who absolutely was. Here's something in my attic. No. I hear Mama Kitty. Okay, never mind. I thought I heard it over here, but I think things were just creaking. Sorry. Anyway, so Meatball was she looked like Californian, but she was a cross between the two. Best mom ever. And ZD looked like Black New Zealand, but was a cross. And um, she died fairly early on when I got her. She had heat. She died from the heat. So she died probably a year in, something like that. I came back from QuailCon. She lasted all that time, and then the person I was with went out and checked her that day, and she had gone that day. So heat is very important to stay away from. So my breeders now are all direct descendants of Parmesan and tortellini. And so they are full mix of Californian and Black New Zealand. And so we have ravioli and rigatoni. They look like Californian. And the ones that look more like a Black New Zealand with a little bit of white hair, they are Penne, who has a half a back foot. She was born that way, and Risotto. So, and Risotto has been wanting, starting this week, she's been wanting more pets and less scratches. So she's always been my rabbit that loves scratches behind the ears, and she's been wanting softer pets. So that's pretty interesting to me. Don't know if it's interesting to anybody else, but it's interesting to me. Yeah, so those are the babies, or those are not the babies, those are the girls, my breeders. And then Percy, short for Persimmon, he came from a different place, and he is papa to all the babies here. So yeah, he is doing good, and yeah. And you guys named every rabbit I have. So I put it up to people on here to come up with names. I narrowed it down, and then we voted on it. So yeah. Yeah, Verna says, makes you wonder what has changed with her that she wants the tender handling. Too many kids? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Penne made her change last year into being more of a nice, like, rabbit, and so it might just be age. Um, I my rabbits are starting to get older. I expect one more breeding year out of ravioli and rigatoni. And so I will be keeping back some breeders next year from them. And then I think the other two are just a year behind. So I'll be keeping back breeders probably 2 years in a row, maybe. But I won't be keeping. I have to figure out who I'm keeping breeders from. I may keep breeders from Risotto. I will not keep breeders from Penne. Penne was born with a half a back foot, and she doesn't see well. So that's why I'm not going to keep babies back from her. The reason why Penne and Risotto, so Penne and Risotto are from one litter, and Ravioli and Rigatoni are from one litter. Same mom and dad. They just happen to look the same as each other. but different from the litters. But their mom, Tortellini, that was their last litter. Her last litter was the two of them. Only two. She only had two. I don't think she even lost any that I know of, but she only had two. And I think she was getting pretty old. And so she had these two babies, and they were going to be dinner. And 7 weeks in, I think it was 7 weeks, Mama Tortellini had, I believe, a stroke. I was with her. Her like one of her side wasn't working. I was like, oh great, did you like jump weird or something? And so I took her inside and I gave her an Epsom salt bath because I figure out if it's that soft tissue, this will help. And she was unusually calm. Like she wouldn't have been that calm inside the house because she never got to go inside the house, right? I mean, they're very territorial. They stay in their hutches, and that's where they are. So when I had her inside, I dried her off, was patting her, loving on her, and I just felt she was kind of getting antsy and she wanted to go back. And so I took her back into her hutch, and as soon as I laid her down, I think she had either another stroke or the results of the first stroke. And because it was only it impacted one side, and she died right then. So at that point, I didn't have another breeder to replace her. I was going to do that next year, and so I decided, well, both of these are girls. I guess you're breeders. So I don't have the same relationship with them as I do Ravioli and Rigatoni because of that. Because Ravioli and Rigatoni came from a litter that I knew I was going to keep back one female. Turns out Ravioli snuggled her way into it to be a second one to keep. Do not let that happen very often. But she was the sweetest, but Rigatoni was the biggest. Now, here's the thing. They're about the same size now, and really Ravioli might be bigger. But it's all about how fast they grow in that first, 12 to 13 weeks. I now process at 13 weeks because it takes longer for them to grow out on pasture. But you got to make your decisions, right? Right? Breed the best and eat the rest. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what changed with Risotto, but she definitely it's actually just been the past few days that she's like, okay, can you just pet me? Like, I want the pets, but yeah. And you can tell. How can I tell? Because when she wants ear scratchies, like if I'm over here, she'll put her ear that way and she'll be like, yeah. And now she's just like, no, can you just pet me, please? And she comes over to me more. So, yeah. Interesting. Verna says, I want to say thank you again for my birthday present. I love it. I sent Verna some freeze-dried rabbit. So, yeah. She wanted a clue as to what it was in the package, and I said, it's light. And how good a clue was that, Verna? It was a pretty good clue. Freeze-dried food is very light. It doesn't have any water in it. No moisture in it. Did you try it yet? Please say yes. Yeah. So it's just cooked and it's plain. So you can do whatever you want with it. When you freeze dry meat, it's good to you didn't even think of trying it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so when you do freeze dried meat, it is generally best to do it after it's been cooked. Oh, you're gonna open it when your daughter gets there. That's good. That's good. Now, has she had rabbit? That's a question. I don't remember when you got rid of your rabbits. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, that's the excitement. Excitement for the time being. Um, yeah. Okay, so she did. So she has tried it. Where it says last QuailCon is when she got rid of the rabbits. That's right. That's right. I remember that now. I remember that transfer. Yeah. Well, she can try it now. She can try it now. Yeah. So I haven't planted the garden yet because it got cold. And I have one person telling me May 15th is when planting starts, and I have one person telling me June 1st. So I think June 1st is going to be the date I go with. And yeah, it was pretty, yeah, to pay attention to the weather and then have the weather go, huh? You think you're going to do what? Oh, we're doing this over here. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. So I'm going to stick with the June 1st. Yeah. Oh, Verna says it was the hardest day of my life. Hardest summer. Yeah. Yep. She'll be trying the Muscovy too. Good. Good, good. Yeah. Um anyway, so that's what's going on with me. So you guys have homesteading questions or discussion topics you want to talk about? See what's going on? See what's growing on? I'm hoping for a bunch of tomatoes this year and zucchinis. I need to spend some time and look for my seeds for cucumbers. Otherwise, I'll just plant regular cucumbers. But I grew the best cucumbers the year before, no, the year that I moved, actually, that I planted at my old place, and I saved seeds from it, and I just don't know where I put them. There, I know I saved them and I put them on a coffee filter and I folded it up and I put it in a bag and I put it somewhere and it came. I'm 99% sure it came here, but if not, I believe the variety was mini me, but I think that's a silly name that is probably not exactly like, oh yeah, that's a variety or that's that variety. I have a feeling it's like a supermarket type naming system, It might not be, but yeah. Verna says my radishes are looking better. Thinking of planting a few more seeds. I don't know what happened to my radishes. I didn't plant more because the ones that came up way later. The carrots are doing okay, and the Swiss chard is still small. So yeah, and anime's chaos garden as well. Good, good. Yeah, Homestead Aquarius. I agree. Spring is getting way fast. I do know that. Yep. Sweet potatoes doing good at Verna's. Nice. Yep. Early spring to summer, depending on the day. Yeah. Oh, sunchokes are growing like weeds. Good. Yeah, as long as you grow them somewhere that they're contained, which I believe you're growing in a container. But with sunchokes, they stay in the ground and they will travel and pop. Yeah. It's a really great what do they call it? I don't know what they call it, but it's like an emergency stash of food in the ground. The people don't know what it is because it looks like sunflowers. It looks like a multi-headed sunflower, and when it grows, and the tuber you can eat. You might be able to eat petals and stuff. I'd look that up, but the tubers you definitely can eat. Yeah, or rhizomes or whatever it is. So yeah, these are good things. Yep. She says planted three, I don't think they're bulbs, but yeah, 3 bulbs, but more than 3 plants popped up. Yep. And you can separate them. It's like potatoes in that way that you can separate, or maybe more like turmeric or ginger, that you can break them apart and then they're just different plants now. Yeah. Excuse me. Goodness. So, yeah. Um, I did order, I ordered, I don't know when they come. I should probably look at that. I did order sweet potato slips or starts or whatever, and I hope they get here. I know Verna tried. It didn't make it. But I hope they get here with enough life in them to live. But yeah, I did order some. I think I ordered it from the localish place. Still doesn't matter. Everything goes through Portland. Erica says we are planning edible landscaping using things that most people don't know are edible. Absolutely. Hidden garden. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that is a great idea. And it's a great idea in any way, and you get varieties that you don't usually get. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But having things that other people don't know is edible is really great. I mean, I did my pineapple guava, the fiohua, which I will be slowly replacing the front hedge with. They are they're evergreen. They're drought tolerant, although they do a lot better if you water them for the fruit. Uh, and but they'll live without any water um, once they get established. And they have green fruit. So the fruit is green. And the fruit that's green, when it's ripe, it falls down. And most people are not going to be picking up green fallen fruit and be like, ooh, that's my thing. Right? Yeah. So anyway, Robin's here. Hello for Chicagoland. Forgot it was Monday, Sow and Tare Live. Welcome, Robin. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. That's a great strategy, Erica. Yeah, a great strategy is to know what you can eat too. So like not just that, but also what is happening in your area. So like I noted that the roses are starting to come out or starting to flower. Well, I'm not going to survive on rose petals, but if I needed rose petals for a recipe, guess what? I have some wild rose petals that I can get. I can look at it now and say, I know where to get rose hips, months from now. It's a good idea to know these things. Yeah. Oh, yep. So Verna says if my daughter gets the right type of property, I want her to plant hardy kiwi. Hardy kiwi grows here. I have some and they're still alive. Not everything that I planted from last year is alive, I don't think. I got excited way too soon and bought a bunch of trees that I then planted a little too late and then didn't water appropriately because I didn't have that set up. What's that thing we talked about earlier? Get your infrastructure in before you buy things. Yeah. Yep. But hardy kiwi's good, and it's a smaller thing. Um, yeah. They also call them sometimes kiwi berries, the smaller ones. There's small ones, and then there's small ones and there's smaller ones. Yeah. Homestead Aquarius says sunchokes are amazing for hidden food in plain sight. Yep. That's exactly it because people don't, well, one, people don't know they can eat sunflowers, the little ones. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, I could imagine that would do well there, Verna. Yeah. Did the t-shirt come from Amazon? It's super cool. I have no idea. Probably not. My mom probably got it off of at a store or something. I don't know. She said she looked at it and there you go. If either of my parents are on here, maybe they can tell, but I haven't seen them show up. Yes, the cold hardy one is not fuzzy. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I have some of those, and I think they're still doing good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where they got this shirt. It's just trees. Tree shirt. So, does anybody have eggs set? I do not. But does anybody have eggs set right now? Anything gonna hatch? I know I'm contagious. I'm sorry. I started early too, or not. Oh my gosh. Nap time? Oh my goodness. First 5 minutes is when I did it? Yeah, I knew it was early. I'm sorry. I'm talking about my yawning. You saw nothing. Anyway, so yeah, the bear has been wandering around the hillside apparently. And hopefully doesn't get into trouble because yeah. You don't believe me, Verena? Oh, how funny. What if I go like this? Does that help? No, I didn't. I didn't. So anyway, made you catch it quicker. Out in the open. Erica says, not yet, but the neighbor with the wandering donkey is going to give me some turkey eggs. Awesome. Awesome. I think there's a turkey working on a nest. I don't know. How long do turkey incubate for? Do you know that yet, Erica? Because there's been a little lady turkey, and there's a second girl that comes with her sometimes. So I don't know if one of them is the helper or what. But the other girl, she's a juvenile still because she has feathers on her head. But I think that they have a nest somewhere, and she comes to the front lawn every day, a couple times a day, in the morning and evening, and gets all the little grass seeds. Yeah. I'm gonna look up how many days turkey egg incubation is. Let's see. Turkey egg incubation period. 28 days. That's so much longer than quail. Right? Everything's longer than quail. 18 days and they're out, right? Yeah. Yep. 28 days. That's a long time. Used to a lot less than that. Homestead says if your neighborhood has a wandering donkey, chances are good you have a good neighborhood. Well, that's in reference to an earlier comment that she said that her neighbor's donkey wandered down and they had to take it home. Now, is this a repeatable offense or repeated offense is the question, I guess, that we should all be asking, right? Yeah. Robin says her radishes took so much longer than normal. Now it's a bit late. They will bolt. Spinach has already begun to bolt. Yeah. And that's sad, right? That's sad. We had some rain this weekend, so I didn't water anything this weekend. It wasn't that much rain, but I figured it was enough. Um, Okay, that was the first time it's a first time wandering donkey. That sounds like a song. Um, Britta says, guess I'll have to wait until fall for more beets. Did your beets come up? Did they do well? Hopefully they did. Um, yeah, hopefully they did well. I don't know. Some years some things don't work, and that's okay. Some other years things work. And so the chard for some reason didn't work this year, and every time I've ever planted chard, now I've never planted it here before, but every time I've ever planted chard, it's always just pop 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 pop. So yeah. Yeah. Half of what Verna planted came up. Erica says he found a hole in the fence and went on a long explore. Yep. Farmers here. Good evening. Good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. What are we growing? What are we growing up there? Um, I have 2 pea plants. They're not doing much. Um, I have carrots, radishes, and I guess we're pretending that we have chard. We'll see if it actually grows. It's very small. That's what has come up from seed. No parsnips yet. Don't know why. The seed wasn't that old. It's just a weird year. I mean, we had some late freezes, but it's a weird year. Yeah. And I think it's been weird everywhere in different ways, right? I think it has been. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like Erica's take on growing edible stuff that doesn't nobody knows about. Part of that is knowing it, and there's a lot of native stuff that you can know about. There's a lot of stuff that people see a lot of in a normal yard that people don't know are edible, and then there's some plants that are just like, hey, that's edible. Didn't know that. You know, a lot of roots a lot of roots, root crops people don't know. Um, Even sweet potato, a lot of people don't know. And you can eat the leaves of sweet potato, not regular potato, sweet potato. So that's something. And then, I mean, if you live in a warmer climate, there's all sorts of stuff. There's a peanut butter plant, a root beer plant. No, that's not where peanut butter or root beer comes from. Um, but yeah, versus I have a strange plant coming up in one pot, didn't add anything to the pot, wondering what it turns out to be. I had some plants come up, and apparently they're a different kind of poppy than I've ever seen here. I did have my parking area scraped up and moved into a berm, and that actually has road fabric on the bottom and gravel with fines in it. So it's an actual non-muddy, solid, parking lot now. Parking lot. I say that it's not that big. Um, but it exposed some seeds from the seed bank, and it definitely has more poppy seeds than I thought too, like California poppy. And there's 2 plants that came up that have red flowers, and they're some sort of poppy. I don't know what kind. And I wouldn't have guessed it by the leaves. But yeah. Farmel says, I got 3 types of corn. Goodness, you guys, what's going on? Black crowder peas, sweet potatoes, squash, tomatoes, and peppers, and butter beans. Sounds good. I have um, I have some squashes, summer and winter, and tomatoes and peppers and basil and a couple stages. that I will be planting, that I got from various sales and things that were put on a couple different plant sales, and then one of my neighbors sells at the Friday market, so I got some from him as well. And so I have those to plant, and then I will start by seed some other things. I was going to do all the seeds starting, and it just didn't happen, so it's all right. Um, yeah, there are some flowers that people don't know are edible. Exactly. There's a lot of flowers that people don't know are edible or medicinal. You can do medicinal plants too. Okay, you think it's borage, so um, at least you hope. Yeah, borage will survive. It's a survivor. Yes, that poppy was a beautiful red poppy in the video today. The weekend review video, very pretty. I had no clue what it was though. Yeah. Robin says I've natured nurtured weeds because I thought they were something special more than once. My old neighbor, she grew safflower and it never came up. Well, it did come up, except she thought they were weeds and she weeded out all of them. So she planted a seed packet, and then as they were coming up, she systematically picked the weeds and realized her mistake after she had killed all of them. So, yeah, know what the seedlings look like. Yeah, yeah. So the seeds. So in Verna's case, it's in pots, so it could be borage. Yeah, if it just fell in there, yeah, yep. And knowing that you planted it before. Throw in some amaranth seeds. Exactly. Exactly. Go for it. Um, Amaranth is a crop that crosses, and so if you want to keep a strain, only do one at a time. Um, I think that's true. Someone could check me on it. So, yeah. Well, should I show the video again? I don't have it up anymore. I should get it up again. I'll show the video again of our visitor, our little visitor. So this little visitor came just shy of 2:30 today. And where are we? Here we go. So I'm in the house, banged on the window. And at least it runs away. So there's our visitor for the day. Um, he's making the rounds to the neighbors as well, it seems. Yeah. Robin says, my new rule, if it grows fast, it's likely a weed. Oh, but is it one you can eat? Verna says seeds that didn't germinate last year have been coming up this year. I had that happen in one of my raised beds at my old place. I had a three sisters. What happened? I had a three sisters thing. Like the first time I planted three sisters, and it was three sisters is it's corn, squash, and beans. I don't remember what came up in what order, but they came up all three of them in different years. And I'm like, I just thought maybe the seed was bad or didn't, whatever. And it's like, no, it wanted to come up later. So, yeah, sometimes that happens. Yeah. Homestead says weeds are just friends we don't yet know yet. I had a neighbor that she had a hound dog, like a big hound dog, and his name was Earl. And we used to say that Earl has friends and friends he hasn't met yet. Yeah, the people that he completely ignored were probably bad people. Yeah. Vernon says a weed is simply any plant growing where it is not wanted, making the definition highly subjective. True, true. Although there are noxious weeds, which is a whole nother category. Yeah. Sounds like Lucy? What sounds like Lucy? She's not a weed. What? I don't know what you're saying, Verna. What sounds like Lucy? Lucy's a good girl. Oh, maybe you're saying that because there's a storm and you hear her? I don't hear a dog. So maybe that's on your end. Does anybody else hear a dog on my end? Did I miss it? Anyway, yeah. So we had a bear. It's been here a couple times, looking same spot. So yeah. Oh, okay, got it. Because of the dog that I was talking about, that has friends and friends he hasn't met yet. Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. So, um, I won't be planting until June 1st, and hopefully I'll have stuff set up out there by then. I won't be planting until I have the stuff set up out there. I partially set up the water system last year. I need to actually kind of do again this year. And I will be expanding the garden at some point. So I'm only planting in the current garden right now. And then I can build the fence around that and then take it down. That's my plan because we got bear. No, foxes are also out here. Deer, elk, but I haven't seen them in a while, so they're doing something. And yeah, yeah. Um, so if you guys missed it this Sunday, the Katrina's kits are our membership option. If you join the channel, we do a Cook With Me Live every month, and we made English muffins from scratch, and it's super yummy, super yummy. Took longer than I thought it would, but it was super yummy and turned out great. And so that is something, if you do join and join the channel, join the membership, you have access to all the previous Cook With Me lives as well. And so you can come to one, you can come to many, you can view the ones in the past. I mean, you're not cooking with us live at that point, but it is still fun if you're cooking along or if you're there live. Because we talk about all sorts of stuff, right? Yeah. But the next one is the 14th, and that is the 14th of June, and we are making pasta salad. So we are going to have a bunch of different ingredients that we can try different things with and see what combinations we come up with and what we like. It's part of what the goal with the Cook With Me Lives is, to learn how to put flavors together, learn how to cook together, learn what it means to do different things. So if you don't know how to, whatever it says in the instructions, we will share what that is or learn together if we don't know. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So Verna says blessings, pause and rain, need to take Lucy out. All right. Thank you for coming, Verna. And give Lucy a hug for me. And good luck with the storms. Lucy doesn't like storms. Thanks for moderating. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we have going on for next month for the Cook With Me Live. And then this Saturday, there is a workshop processing rabbits. And so that will happen this Saturday. I believe there's still space available. I've had a couple of people go wishy-washy on me. So I believe there is still one space. But if there's not, we can have an extra person. That's fine. And so that'll be Saturday. Let's check the weather for Saturday. That's something we should do. Weather. We're going to do it no matter what, but it's always good to check. So Saturday, 81 degrees with a 19% of rain, chance of rain. That'll work. That'll work. 81's a little on the warm side, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not 90. It's not 110. So they'll be doing good. Yeah. They'll be good. They'll be good. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. I kind of went through a bunch of stuff. I don't know what all the new people who came on partway through, what I may have missed or what they may have missed, but go ahead and put it out there if you have questions or you want to share something or yeah, any of that. I'd like to encourage. There's a lot to do with gardening, and there's a lot to do with animals and all of that. I guess I'll say one more time, I did have a friend mow the hayfield for me. He did a little bit of the pasture too, but I did have him mow the hayfield for me. I needed that as a fire danger to go away. So I feel much better about that. And yeah, thank you to that person. I mean, I paid him too, but it's still a big thank you. Yeah, and having a business where you only do smaller hay fields, like it took him 5 hours. It's not like a huge thing. 5 hours on a small, like not a regular hay implement, like small stuff. I mean, that's a business that people could do if you have all the hay equipment, especially. It's a business that people could do because a lot of people won't come to small properties. Like there are people in this area that wouldn't come to a small property. They only want to do big properties. Because I mean, honestly, what they do, what's typical here, tell me if this is typical everywhere, but what's typical here is if someone does hay for you, they get half of the hay and you keep half. That seems reasonable. I don't know what other monetary exchange there is, or if they just sell that hay, but it sounds reasonable to me. And so I don't know if that is like the standard everywhere or not, but someone could have a really good hay business for that, and then other times, like this time, I mean, I am fine with just mowing it because at this point, that's what needs to happen. Need to take the fire danger down. So yeah. Homestead Aquarius says very popular deal for a long time and many places. Yeah, I figured it was. I've heard of it before, but I guess it's standard here, which is fine. Like I said, I don't really need that much, and I probably should at some point, once that's dried, if it doesn't rain. And again, when you're haying, you pay attention to when it rains and all of that because you want it to dry You want to dry green, not rot green. If I interpreted that correctly, let me know. But like we have 20% chance of rain on Wednesday. I don't know if that's too high for someone who regularly does haying. Not too high after that. That's probably fine. But I'm sure temperature goes into it and all of that. And I know for people that's their business, they can be out all night. They can be out all night with a light haying because you have to get it in when it's ready to get in. And there's a whole science behind when you're supposed to hay and how much, I don't know how much seed is in the grass heads. I don't know the requirements, but I know they exist. So you have to do it on nature's terms and on the grass's terms. So yeah. And there's better hay and worse hay and all that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that got done. It has not had anything done to it for I think this would be the third summer. And so it really, should have had animals on it. My stuff fell through for that. And because I was going to just graze it with something, but yeah. The thing about grazing it with something myself is I'm not at this point ready for bigger animals, and therefore I'm not ready to deal with a guard animal. So in this case, it would likely be a llama. It would either be a llama or a donkey. I would say likely a llama, and that is something that whether or not you have livestock with it, that's going to be a problem. So if you no longer have the livestock and you have your single donkey, your single llama, like it should have a friend. It should have something to guard. So that's something that I was thinking about. I was like, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to make this long-term commitment because you really should have a guard animal with your animals if you have them out loose like that. So, we have mountain lion here, we have bear here. The occasional wolf, maybe potentially. I know 20-minute drive away, I know they had wolves there, a pack there that went through. We're not like in prime wolf habitat. Like they're probably habitat, yeah, but we're not in prime wolf territory at least. But if one came through, it would be not that much of a surprise. It'd be exciting, but it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. There's coyotes too. Bobcats and foxes are smaller, but they're wily. Yeah. Erica says, we lease our fields to a neighbor and he leaves broken and undersized bales for me to use. Yep. Wolves, wow. Homestead Aquarius says, yeah. It's not so I know there was a pack that went through a town, I think 20-25 minutes away. And by car. I mean, the wolves didn't go by car, but it's 20-25 minutes away by car. And so there is a potential that they would be here at some probably low capacity. And through time, that is likely to change because, returning wolves to the wild is kind of, or not returning them, but making sure that we do have predators is a good thing. I'm a wildlife biologist, so in case you're going in this direction, I'm a wildlife biologist, and so when I talk about that kind of stuff, I'm in favor of a full ecosystem. Let's just say that, which does include the predators. Now, I do want the predators to stay away from my animals, and I do what I can, to somewhat ensure that. I mean, the rabbits are in rabbit tractors. Most of the things that are out there are not going to bother them. A bear could get in there. I do understand that. But, like around where the rabbits are up here, that bear was right here. And you guys see that stick right there? That's one of the lower areas of where the rabbits and the hutches are. So, and this bear went that direct, like it's been going on a path that way, and thank goodness hasn't figured out that there's anything over there yet. But since I have the kitties inside right now and it was time to change their litter box stuff, I went up and I nearly encircled by dripping, this nasty litter around there. So I'm leaving predator scent there. Even though it's a little kitty cat, it's still a predator scent. When they're inside, I also put their poops out in the world where, they may or may not be ordinarily pooping. I want to keep those scents strong so that their presence, while is not physically there, their presence is still there. So yeah. Anyway, Ringo's outside somewhere, so hopefully he comes in tonight. We'll see. We'll see. All right, very cool. Homestead Aquarius says, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I've seen bear, coyote, bobcat, fox, weasel. That'll decapitate things. Those are the predators I've actually physically seen here. And then kitty cats, like house cats, dogs. But then mountain lions would add to that, and wolf is slim but a possibility. So yeah. One of my neighbors got a mountain lion and 2 cubs on a camera last year, so that's pretty cool. I haven't seen sign of them or them, so yeah. So Homestead Aquarius says, you have a great place there. I think so. Yeah, I don't know if you know my history with the homesteading stuff, so I'll go through it quickly. I started urban homesteading in California, in Gilroy, and garlic capital of the world. And that was never where I wanted to end up, but that was where I was. I'm a wildlife biologist. I got a job in San Jose, and that was the house I could afford. And so I end up on a 7,000 square foot lot. That includes the house, the garage, the screen and porch, all of that. And that was 2013 when I started that. Prior to that, we had a garden growing up and all that. But so 2013 is when I started, and my goal was to have edible landscaping. I don't know if food forest was a term yet, but I did not know that term yet. Basically, in essence, that's what my goal would have been if I knew about it. So the more integratedness of a food forest versus edible landscaping. I didn't know about it, or it didn't exist. I don't know. But I was there for 11 and a half years, something like that. And I had a very mature backyard, front yard, all that, no lawn, and over 50 fruit trees. And the front part of the front yard was a little meadow. I've done everything from flax to, just different flowers to different, I had sunflowers in one year, all sorts of different things. But a little, flower meadow, basically, little. But yeah, grew food out there, grew food on the driveway. I dug a pond, had that as a microhabitat, raised rabbits for meat, quail for meat and eggs, and my 3 pet chickens that poop breakfast, 2 of which are still living and with us, and 1 is still pooping breakfast sometimes. One of them stopped pooping breakfast all through last year, so I don't think she's going to lay again, or if she does, it's going to be very sporadic. And then, and then room for planting, it's for your annuals. So, and I use green stalks a lot, and so that's, everything is pretty dang cool. But I was never a city person. I did not need to be 10 feet away from somebody else's house. Um, I didn't grow up in cities, and yeah. So then it took me a couple years to look for this place, and I was looking based on the planting zone. And I did. Oh, did I not read that? I saw that. I saw that, Robin, where you said what zone you're in, and I totally missed reading it out loud. Robin said, weird in Chicagoland, zone 5B. Awesome. I just realized I hadn't read that out loud. So I was in planting USDA planting zone 9B, and now I'm in 8B. So yes, 5B for Robin. Thank you. And so I just moved one zone colder or cooler, and now we have snow. Now we have more hard freezes, but it's still not like winter, you know. It could be. It has been. We had Snowmageddon like a few years ago, I guess. That's what people refer to it as here. I guess they got 3 feet of snow on the ground at once. There you go. I think I shoveled my driveway twice, and I didn't need to either time this year. Last year, I shoveled it a few times. But anyway, so now I'm on nearly 70 acres, and not, most of it is in timber or forest, and that's about 30 years old from its last logging. I don't really intend to log. I will be taking out a bunch of Douglas firs south of the house to make way for a food forest. It'll be about an acre. And there's pasture across the street. That's the same property. And then I have the rabbits and the chickens up here, and garden over there. And I plan to up this hill a little bit. I plan to do a greenhouse type thing that's geothermically heated, I guess, heated and cooled. And so that's what the infrastructure is all about. Like, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to happen when I talk about infrastructure. And before that is all the planning and all the permissions and all the, you have to talk to the assessor for change of use for things like from timber to farming is the food forest. That goes through the assessor and Oregon Department of Forestry. So you have to check all the boxes. So yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff to do. And so hopefully that gives you a little bit more background about me. And then professionally, I'm a wildlife biologist. I do that I do reports and proposals and managing right now. I don't do field work anymore. My job is still in California. Homestead says, what are the most prolific trees here? Or there? So here, because most of this land has been logged, we have Douglas fir. There's also other kinds of fir, but it's mostly Douglas fir that was replanted after being logged. So much of this area has already been logged, and so the diversity has drastically decreased in most of the areas. Understory here that's becoming bigger, which I will encourage, is tan oak. Tan oak is not an oak and not tan, but it does have edible acorns. There are other nuts. There's chinkapin, which is not a big number of trees here, but I do have some very large ones. Chinkapin is, I don't know if it's related to chestnut, but it has those seed balls that are spiky like chestnut. Instead of like a chestnut, there's like multiple little tiny chestnut-like nuts. And then hazelnuts. There's native hazelnuts here. That's not necessarily a tree, it's more of a large shrub. Filbert would be what people call them if they have an orchard of it. So filbert and hazelnuts are the same. Madrone is also has edible berries. Of course, they have to fall to the ground for you to harvest them because they're way up there. And it also has medicinal leaves and bark. There is some Arctostaphylos. What is that? Manzanita. There's manzanita, which also has it has edible apples. So the little fruits are like that big. But they call them apples, and you can eat them. You can make them into a drink. You can dry them, all that stuff. And then it also has medicinal qualities in the leaves. I don't know about the leaves, probably leaves, but both manzanita and what's the one I just said? The one that has medicinal bark. Anyway, both of those that have the red bark, they actually have something in their bark that if you are hot and you're overheating and you come upon either one of those plants, if you put your wrists on that bark, it will cool you. So it has it has like a coolant in it that because your blood vessels are so close to the surface here, it will act as a coolant on your body. So that's good to know. Dogwoods are here. Maples, big leaf maples. So I did actually get syrup from big leaf maples and walnut here. Walnut's not native here, but I do have 2 that were planted a long time ago. And then what else? I'm missing something. Oh, yew trees used to be here. YEW. Yew trees used to be here, and I have one on my property that was cut down and a branch about that big that is growing up from the base. And I don't remember if it's male or female, but I only have one, and that doesn't work because you got to have a male and a female. And you have yew trees were cut down, were harvested, really. Yew trees were harvested in mass out of this area. And the reason for that is the bark's use as a treatment in breast cancer medicine. And so I don't remember what it's called, it starts with a T. It's something that's in the bark. And instead of being nice to nature and your supply, and harvesting things sustainably, they just decided to cut them all down and use it up. So I do plan on planting some yew trees, in and around the forest at some point. What else do we have? We have a couple different kinds of oaks. I think it's Oregon white oak, and I think it's black oak or Kellogg's oak. I don't know what other kind of oaks we might have, but I know those 2. We have currants. That's not a tree, it's a bush. We have huckleberries and red huckleberries. Those are also bushes. Lots of trees, lots of stuff. So yeah. Homestead Aquarius says, I discovered hazelnuts here at my place last year. Excited to have them. Awesome. What state are you located in? That's awesome. Yeah, you have to get them before the squirrels. It's not necessarily the squirrels that you're going after, before, whatever. It's the bugs. Because the bugs will get into the nuts very quickly. So there are, so we have the native ones here. There are varieties of varietals, whatever you want to call them, that people that you can purchase that have more resilience towards X, Y, and Z. But I have a lot of hazelnuts here, but I tried to harvest them last year and didn't get very many. Excuse me. Yeah. Erica says, I wouldn't argue with you if you decide to send hazelnuts my way. I need to have enough hazelnuts to eat, too. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Greed over common sense. You know it, Erna. Oh, Andy Rabbit's here. Hello, Andy Rabbit. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Homestead Aquarius is in Alabama. I have not been there. Yeah, the small bush type hazelnut. That's what we have. They can get really big though. But yeah, it's a bush. Yeah. Thank you. I have been blessed. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, big leaf maple. We also have alder and ash, and not a lot of ash, but I mean, alders and ash is around water. There's some willow, not very much. And then there's some sort of cherry, and I don't remember if it's sour cherry or bitter cherry, but there's some sort of cherry that's along the riparian areas as well. So, Corylus americana, I've heard of that. What is that? Oh, hazelnuts. Yeah, I don't know what the variety is here, but I'm talking about like if you were to look up like buy a filbert is a hazelnut, it's the same thing, but they're on trees, I think. But if you were to look up like agricultural varieties, there's varieties that have been bred to be a certain way. I knew I recognized that. Yeah. So Rhoda says, each morning you are blessed because you woke up. So each day you start it with a blessing. That is good. This is good. Yeah. So how's Miss Andy Rabbit doing? Did you are you still freeze drying? Have you taken a break from freeze drying yet? Andy got her freeze dryer how long ago, Verna? Somewhat recently. Doing good. Good, good. Yeah. Oh, there's pine trees here too. There's some sort of pine. Not very many on my property, more on other people's property. And some old fruit trees. A month ago. It's only been a month. Okay. Yeah. I haven't used my freeze dryer in a little bit. Actually, I think the last thing I freeze dried, Verna, was those rabbits, which wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. Perhaps 2 months. Oh yeah, it was before you sent out the slips. Okay. Time gets away from us, right? It certainly does. Yeah. My goodness. Well, speaking of time, it is 8:07. So I'm thinking it's time to wrap this up. Yeah, sounds like everybody's doing well. And if you guys want to join us for the Cook With Me Live on the 14th of June, hit the join button. And there's one spot, I think, left for the workshop on Saturday. So if you're local, Douglas County, Oregon, send me a message. Yeah. Okay, Andy says, I'm putting in some bananas, strawberries, cherry, grapes, pineapple, and some dragon fruit tomorrow. Bananas, for sure, put it in at the ripeness that you like to eat, because that is what it will taste like when it comes out, and they're fabulous. Strawberries, if it's not for long-term, if it's for long-term storage, you need to like way dry it way more than you thought you did, because the seeds of the strawberry, which, fun fact, that is actually the fruit, the rest of it is auxiliary, that takes forever to dry out. So even though it can be crispy as heck, that extra moisture in the seed will release over time. So unless you're doing long-term, like if you're doing long-term, pay attention to that. If not, then you're fine. But definitely give it some extra time. Bananas will go quick though. Robin says good night, Katrina and chatty friends. Good night, Robin. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah. Okay, if it's for a trip, yeah, don't worry about it. Just make it go until it looks right. But yeah, if it's for long term, definitely longer. So yeah. And Hosted is saying good night, y'all. Well, thank you guys all for joining, and we will say good night and see you guys next Monday. And oh, you can take freeze-dried food on a plane. Good to know. Makes sense. No bug issues. All right, guys. So we will talk to you later, and we'll see you next Monday. And till then, have a wonderful, wonderful time. And thank you so much for visiting. All right, we'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys.